example for a normal file that you are organizing your certificates, right? Like that, here it is a method of storing or organizing the computer files where the files that contains the data. Am I right? So what is the basic characteristics? Which is nothing but the basic characteristics is nothing but so here the data are stored in the individual files, whereas each application maintain its own files. While comparing to that, a file where organize how you are organizing your files in your system, you normally do it. For example, if you are having an MP3 folder or some musical collections for a particular genre. Okay, what you will do? So for a particular genre, you will organize multiple files of MP3 files, that to organize in a specified folder. Am I right now? So in that is the concept over here. File is organized in a directories or folders. Okay, then who is responsible for accessing those files? With some applications only, we are going to hear some songs, but what I can say in the sense as like think of it. So the files is nothing but MP3 files, which is organized as in a genre, which is nothing but any folder. Okay, where the operating system plays a major role for managing the files, which is nothing but for accessing the files. Okay, here we can see some of the examples. We already know what is a text file, as like organizing text files, organizing spreadsheets, organizing the Word documents, which is stored on your normal disk drives. That is nothing but simply in your system, how you are storing a different files within a particular file, within a particular folder, how you are organize those things. Okay, so this is a normal file system architecture, which is nothing but for application one and application two. Okay, so while coming to the why we are moved to the database management system. So what are all the problems within a file system? Okay, the first problem is nothing but the data redundancy. For example, if I am having, I can able to copy multiple folders at a multiple locations. Am I right? Am I right or not? So, the same folder where I can able to save in a different locations. For example, I can able to store the same folder in a C drive or in a D drive as well as in the desktop. So, the redundancy is nothing but what the meaning of that redundancy is nothing but same data is stored in the multiple files. Okay, so what is the consequences? We already have the folder in a particular location, but it is still being uh, copied to multiple locations. Because of this, what is a major disadvantage is nothing but there is a wastage of storage space. While coming to that, next is nothing but maintenance cost is high. Once the storage is reached the limit, then we need to go for the extra storage spaces. So this kinds of things, for example, while we are retrieving some information by using the search browser, so what will happen in the sense, it is very tedious to retrieve the data. So these are all some one of the difficulties in the normal file systems. Okay. And another disadvantage is nothing but data inconsistency. As I stated earlier, different copies have the different values. Okay. So, for example, if you're updating, if you are maintaining some HR information, so if your employee address is in HR system is updated, okay, but the payroll system also related to the employee, okay, but there the address is not been updated. Okay, this is one of the inconsistency because we're having the same copy and same information in different places, but it is not updated simultaneously for the multiple location. This is one kind of a data inconsistency. Next one is nothing but data isolation. So, uh, the you know the sense you are storing the information in multiple drives. Am I right? Since you are storing the information in a multiple drives, so that too in various file formats. Okay, so the data are scattered around the system drives. Okay, so retrieving of information is very tedious as we discussed earlier. If you want to retrieve information one in one place, the employee information is updated. In another place, the same employee information which is not updated. So these kinds of things will face some kind of difficulty in retrieving the information. So, So and also there is no standard format across the files. We need some of the queries. Okay, so these are all, and the next problem is nothing but the integrity problem. The integrity problem is nothing but enforcing the data with some constraints. Okay, the best example for integrity constraint is nothing but the account balance should never be negative. Okay, where we are giving some constraints. Okay, uh, so employee age must be between 18 to 65. So we are giving some uh, we are placing some constraints, right? Constraints is nothing but condition. Based on this condition, we need to retrieve the data. It is not possible in the traditional file system. Okay. Uh, so here, what we need to do is for the constraints has to be done in some special code. If you want to retrieve particular data, for that we need to write a special code. Okay. So it is very difficult to enforce across multiple applications. Okay. So and the next one is what is atomicity problem? Okay, so uh, the atomicity problems is nothing but the execution operations which is not being updated properly. For example, withdrawing the amount from a particular account. Okay, you are withdrawing some amount from account E, for example. Here it is stating like that. So here, if you are retrieving some $5 of amount from the account A, okay. Uh, for that the system crashes here. Okay, we need to credit that 500 to the account B. Okay, well once before that the system crashes, so the account is not credited to account B. Okay, the result is nothing but the amount which has been withdrawn from the account A. Okay, after that the system got crashed. So in account A the amount is withdrawn, but in account B the amount is credited. Am I right? So amount is to be credited, but it is not credited. So here the system crashes. Okay, so here what is the point over here is nothing but the file system does not guarantee the transactions. Okay, so and then and also what kind of security issues we are facing over here. Okay, first one is so it is very difficult to implement a fine-grained access control. Okay, so here the users have to access their entire files. Okay, and then there is no role-based permissions. So we'll discuss it regarding this role-based permissions. So these kinds of things will not be implemented in file-based systems. And then concurrent overall the concurrent access problems. So at a time only one person can able to access the files. Am I right or not? Whereas access cannot access the multi file same file simultaneously. Okay, there might be if suppose one person is updating and one person is just viewing, the updation will not be reflected. Okay, so there might be a loss of updates and there is a possibility of data corruption. Okay, so you know right now we come to know that what are all the disadvantages of a traditional file system. So for that only we are evolved to the database management system. Uh, First of all, we need to understand what is a database system. Actually, it is a collection of a structured data by using some software, which is nothing but a database management system to manage that data in a structured format. Okay, so it is a kind of a software system which is used to manage or structure the data that about you have been collected or organized. Okay, so database is nothing but collection of related data. So you are collecting the related information. Suppose, for example, I'm creating an employee database. So I will have the entire information about the particular employees. Okay, what about the DBMS? DBMS is nothing but it is a software which is used to create and maintain the database. What all the database you are creating for that particular database, just for creation and for maintaining the database, we make use of the software. So the applications which is useful to interact with the database management system. What is the basic key idea here it is? So it is a centralized one and shared repository. So with some controlled access. Okay. So advantages of a database system is nothing but so we can easily separate the data from the applications, and as well as it has a two levels. One is nothing but physical independence level, and another one is a storage structure, which can change without affecting the applications. Next one is something about logical independence. So the changes can be made with some minimal impact in the application. What is the benefit over here in the sense? It do not break when the database is recognized. Okay, this is a simple database system architecture. So here we can use multiple applications to access the database management system, where the informations, the where the employee details are stored in the centralized database. So what is the concept over here is, uh, with some application, multiple applications, we can able to, with the help of the database management system software, we can access the centralized database of the an employee details or employee salary system. Okay, so what are the advantages over here? Okay, what are all the advantages in the sense, using a database management system? So it is make use of a control redundancy. We can make use of some normalization techniques. So what will be the what is the benefits of using the database management system when compared to the traditional file system? One is nothing but, since there is a redundancy of the data, the storage space is high. Whereas while coming to the database management system, it reduces storage space. Okay, as well as here the data is very consistent, where the data is inconsistent in the file management traditional file system. While coming to that, in the database management system, it is very easier to maintain. Okay, so then next one is, so these are all things we discuss, as I stated. What is integrity constraints, and then what are kinds of another advantage is nothing but domain constraints. Okay, we can make use of some primary key, foreign key, which will be discussed in a deep way. Okay, and so it transaction management. Okay, it also supports a transaction management. Okay, which is nothing but atomicity, which is nothing but how we are going to uh, evaluate that overall data, so along with the consistency, what kind of and what uh, how the data has been maintained in any difficult circumstances, how it is remain in a valid state. Okay, while coming to the isolation pattern, uh, which is where while multiple access is happening over here, with the transaction do not interfere. So that is nothing but isolation, whereas in durability, the changes that has been made, which has been stored permanently. Okay, it is nothing but the durability. Okay, these are all some of the features. Security features is nothing but it provides some user authentication, role-based access control. It will provide a view level security. View level is nothing but, for example, uh, if suppose students and faculties are using a common